Well, welcome to New Year, everyone. Peter, if I haven't met you before, lovely to meet you. We're starting off the year by looking at healthy habits, something that I think Tara and Jason really wanted to kick off the year, and having these couch chats, these informal chats with people from among us who have maybe different habits in different areas. And there's three kind of particular areas we'll be looking at over the next 3 weeks. Physical habits, mental health habits, or habits around developing stronger mental health, and then spiritual disciplines, another healthy habit. I think all these habits tie up together really nicely to help produce, healthier lives, is what we're all kind of hoping for. I just wanted to get started by maybe framing this a little bit. And I want you to visualise the road you're on. The road you're on is in the path of the life that you are living. Whether it's straight, whether it's twists and turns, whether it's rough terrains, whether it's hills. And what does this path, or what does this road actually mean and look like? If you don't know me very well, I like to run, and not just away from my kids. No, just kidding. I don't like to run. I like the feeling that I get when my watch is stopped and my run is complete. I don't like to run. And when I first moved to Albion Park, I had a loop that I used to do, or a loop that I planned out in my head, and a loop that I'd driven in the car. And I thought, I'll run my first half this way, and then the loop, I'll run back that way. And as I got over the first half and commenced my second half, I realised on the run that second half was actually uphill. And I was cranky with myself. I was like, I planned this out. How many times have I driven this road and not realised it was uphill? It was just a slight incline, but it was uphill. And I was going to continue forward, and I kept running and got my teeth kicked in and felt pretty terrible by the end. I stopped, and I think these kind of moments allow us to reflect on our lives. And I kind of asked myself, well, why did I expect the ground to be flat? Why did I expect it to be easy? I think we live in a world and a time where we see convenience as the standard, and when things aren't convenient, everything else seems unfair or a bit of a burden. So when the road we think should be flat and it's not flat, how do we respond? What do we think about those things? Tara was sharing about, and not that we really talked about this, the gentleman who wrote a song, I Had a Hard Year. And I'm really looking forward to the next one. I think I want to say, life wasn't easy, life isn't easy, and it never will be, but that's okay. And if we acknowledge that can be a massive differentiator in our lives. We acknowledge that there will be difficult times. And I feel a little bit maybe hypocritical up here, because I know there are people in this room that have faced much greater challenges than I have. And you're an encouragement to me and a testimony to God and His work in you, that life is hard. But I think hopefully what we know is that whilst life is hard, there are things that we can do, that we have control of, where we can develop habits to maybe face those challenges, make life a little bit easier. So I've got 3 lovely people up here. They're each going to share with us maybe a particular physical habit that they have, kind of how they got started, why they do it, and the benefits that they see. And then we'll have a chance to ask questions as well. So I might start with you, John. Tell us a little bit about the habit that you've started and how you get started, how you got started, and what it is, and how you got started.
I do a fair bit of walking. I try to walk 4 or 5k a day, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. But yes, I know.
Just thinking about walking makes some people tired.
Yeah, but to want to do that, you have to challenge yourself and be motivated. You have to make time. And when you're working, it's hard to go for a walk before work, or when you get home, you've got the wife and the kids, or the husband and the kids, and you've got to do this and that, and you really don't get a lot of time. But, the weekends are yours to do whatever you so choose. And walking is, for me anyway, is very peaceful and relaxing and beautiful. Like if I walk from home down to the marina, Lorraine and I walked down there yesterday, and there must have been at least 10 different types of birds singing their repertoires, you know, and the place was all lovely and quiet and peaceful, and you're able to walk down through the bush, listen to all the different birds, and especially after the rains, you smell the different scents, and the new growth is beautiful to watch. So it really is really good, pleasant for me. And then I started doing parkrun. Now, parkrun is not just running, it's there for people who just want to walk as well. And that's a 5K walk every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock from Killalea up at the state park, or the national park now as it is. And, you know, it's a good way to meet different people in the community. And it's a beautiful walk. They've had to change it, but it's still a beautiful walk. And, you know, and if it takes you an hour, if it takes you an hour and a half, it really doesn't matter. The fact is, you're out there and you're walking and you're meeting new people, and you can always come back and have something to drink or something and sit around and chat to different people.
Yeah, great. Thanks, John. I might throw to you, Cassie. What's the healthy habit that you're going to share with us, and how did you get started?
Okay. The healthy habit that I'm going to share is around sleep. So I try to have a routine, same go to bed, same wake up time every day. This year was a real change for me this past year. Since having kids, if I wanted to fit in the exercise that I like to do every day, I need to actually try and get that done in the morning, which means I'm waking up at 5 o'clock to do that. Which means if you're waking up at 5, you've got to go to bed early. So I try to be in bed and try to go to sleep by 9 o'clock. So I try to get 8 hours from 9 till 5. And the sleep is really important for mental health, for physical health, especially the hours that you get before 12 o'clock are like worth double. So I think it's really important when it comes to sleep that we're trying to get 6 to 8 hours every night, trying to be as regular as you can with going to bed and waking up, if you can. I know some people have shift work and things like that makes it difficult. But bodies actually thrive on that routine, and it helps reduce things like anxiety and stuff like that if we are trying to keep our body regular. So, yeah.
Excellent. Thanks. Sleep. Glocko, what's your habit? How did you get started?
I guess it's cycling. I'm probably on the down of that at the moment with my habit, but I guess about 8-9 years ago, I was much larger than now, and I was told that things weren't going too well with my health, and I used to struggle running after my kids, and they don't stop, so that's hard work. So I decided to start cycling. A friend of mine was cycling he was like in his 60s, and he did a Europe tour, and he was very unfit, and he shouldn't have made it, but he did. And I thought, if he can do it, I should be able to do it. So I got up there and I started cycling, and it hurt like hell at first. I always wanted to be one of those skinny cyclists, and I did it. After a few years, I lost 55 kilos, and I was cycling 300 to 500 Ks a week. And so I'm the guy that everyone hates on the road. Bring it on. Bus drivers are the worst. So cycling, I love it. I love cycling. It's time away from my kids. And I relate to both things said here, the birds and that. It's one thing we get with cycling that people don't understand when you're driving is everything is much slower on the road. So I see way more detail. I smell the rain. I smell different trucks and buses as well. They all smell different. But I also just smell different areas of the bush. And for example, my favourite ride is riding up Macquarie Pass. I've done that hundreds of times. And as you go up, the temperature changes, and you can feel that as you're going up, and the moisture changes, and I love that feeling. And again, I relate to what you're saying. For me, it was always in the morning, so it was 4 or 5 in the morning getting up. So my wife always stays up late, but I used to fall asleep 9:30 to get up for 4, 5:30. That's not happening right now, so I'm trying to build that back up because of everything that's happened with life. But yeah, cycling, I love it.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Glocko. John, I might ask you around your habit. What's your motivation for maintaining these habits? Why do you do it?
Motivation. I just think it's the sheer joy of going out and just doing it. You may not feel like doing it when you start because things happen. But, you know, you go out and you're in that setting and it brings all that beauty and peace and happiness and all that. And that is the reward for me.
Yeah, great. I might ask Glocko, you kind of shared about how you stopped and then you started again. Any keys for getting started again?
Yeah, so, I mean, for me when it stopped, basically, you know, I mean, I've told the story before to a few people, but we, you know, basically got told out my wife was pregnant, which, you know, I was literally talking about getting, and that didn't work. We had a baby instead.
Bit of a snip theme this morning, it seems like.
And then the week after we found out our son had cancer, so life went absolutely mad, and he's fine. It's Zachy that runs around and causes trouble for everyone. So I tried to keep up the exercise, but I lost that and has put on the weight back on. But I missed it. I missed the headspace that I had with it. I missed the rest that it gave me. When you exercise, you rest better. Your body, you need to allow recovery, but you definitely rest better. But it also helps you to just align your day of everything is the routine. Your diet gets better. The time management gets better. I mean, that's better prioritization. But yeah, when you fall off that bandwagon, I guess. And then look, for me right now, you know, like I said, I was doing 300 to 500 Ks a week. That's like crazy cycling. That's, you know, there are pro guys that don't do that much. And I was definitely not pro. But to get to that level, to get the level of dedication, it didn't come overnight. And that's what I've got to focus on now. It's not overnight. It's steps. And so I've got an event that I'm signing up for next year, which is for crazy people such as me. And if I was to do it right now, it would be an absolute failure. It would be a waste of money. But I've got 14 months to train for that, and that will align all my goals for the year for that. So it's a slow steps.
The small steps to climb the mountain,
definitely
right?
small steps, yeah.
I'm going to ask Cassie one last question, and then we will throw to people out there if they have a question, so you can be thinking about it and shoot your hand up. Have you got any advice for anyone who may be wanting to begin improving their physical health?
Yes. I think to piggyback on what Glocko said, it's small steps. So start small. Don't think I'm starting here and I'm going to get to there. It's about taking small steps along the way and thinking, you know, what is one thing that I want to change? Is it my physical inactivity? Okay, well, what can I do to improve that? And I'm a big believer in doing what is efficient and convenient for you. Finding something that you enjoy, so walking. Walking is cheap, costs nothing, and you can do it outside your house. You know, just go for a walk. You know, if you don't enjoy that, it is finding something that you enjoy, finding something that you will stick with, and finding something that's convenient. So for me, with children, the thought of going out to a gym and the travel time and everything that's associated with that, it wouldn't work for me, not at this stage of life anyway. So we have spent the money to buy equipment so that we have equipment in our garage so that literally it's 1 minute, I wake up at 5, I get changed, go downstairs, work out, then I'm back upstairs, and I have if Peter's not there because he's running, I've got the monitor, I can hear the kids. And so I've just tried to work into my life something that is easy. And so that would be my encouragement to you. Find something that is easy for you to change. Like during COVID, so many resources became available on YouTube and things like that because people were all exercising at home. And so there's so many good quality workout things that people can do literally in their lounge room with minimal equipment because COVID has really brought that out and people are continuing with that. Now, if that's not motivating for you, finding something else that is motivating. It might be walking, running, cycling, whatever it is, but finding something you enjoy. So Mum, for example, she goes for a half an hour walk every morning. My sister doesn't find it motivating at all to work out at home by herself. So she goes to a gym because that's what keeps her going. So I think the question to ask yourself is, what's motivating to me? What's convenient for me? And what's efficient for me so that, and you know, knocking out all the barriers, essentially, the things that will stop you from doing it, would be my advice.
Great. Thanks, guys. Does people have questions out there? You can shoot your hand up. Tara will grab a mic and scurry around.
I have a question about the sleep. So this is probably my goal, but if anyone else has questions, get ready because I'm coming to you with the mic. I just struggle to stay up. I enjoy my downtime is watching Grey's Anatomy at the moment, and I'll be up till midnight like last night, watching episode after episode, thinking, this is so fun, next one, next episode. The discipline of just turning it off to get to bed so you can get up. Have you ever struggled with that? Or is it just me?
Yes. I'm naturally a night person.
Yeah.
So it is a matter of discipline and knowing that if I'm going to put on a show that I'm not going to be able to turn off, then I just don't do it.
Yeah.
So sometimes I choose to read instead.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't find reading as I can't put the book down. And it makes your eyes tired. So then I read a bit, I'm like, oh yeah, I start to feel tired. All right, yeah, I'm going to sleep. So you just, making choices around television, which is a struggle for me. Sometimes I still do it. Like I binge watch a show and then it's 12 o'clock, I thought, I'm not getting enough at 5 tomorrow. But, on the whole, generally.
Making better choices. Yeah. Anyone else got questions? All right, coming down to Rick. So we've done sleep. We haven't mentioned drinking water, but I know that's an important one.
So part of this could be like stopping unhealthy life habits. So like if you make a New Year's resolution to stop an unhealthy one, and you break it within 7 days, then you've got 51 weeks till you start it again. Or give it another go. So
I like your thinking, Rick.
How do you cope with the feeling of disappointment in yourself or...
Thanks, Clicker.
So I totally back up what Cassie was saying, that it's got to be something that you love. That you can, I think, and this goes with weight loss, if anything you're trying to apply, I think don't give yourself an absolute. Don't give yourself a black and white thing instead. I will run tomorrow, and if I don't, I'm a loser. Because people get these mindsets, because that's the media presents this. They go, you've got to do this or you're not that person. And it's not about that. I think what you got to do is to say, I'm going for a run tomorrow, and if I don't, I'm going to try again. It's the best. Again, there's quitting the cigarette ads. It takes a while to build a habit. It takes a while to build stamina. It takes a while to build willpower. And willpower is not something that just comes straight away. You just get up and go, I'm Superman. I'm running 500Ks today. No one's going to do that. Maybe Superman would. Superman would. Anyway, but my point is that it's this idea that's there. Otherwise, you will constantly fail. Because you will stay up and watch the show, you will enjoy too much chocolate and whatever, and then that puts you off. And so it's about do something that's doable, So be it that it's the walk, you didn't get that run in the morning, but you went for the walk, or be it that you got to give yourself goals that you can achieve in a day to build that willpower, to build the process that I can do this, and it's not a failure to do the wrong thing. It's not a failure. It's the process of getting stronger at the habit. And building the habit, if that makes sense. I'm very much against New Year's resolutions, because I think if you're going to do something, you do it now.
Oh, come on, you're ruining my New Year's New Resolutions catchphrase.
Also, I think if you lose motivation that quick, you need to get 2 or 3 people around you that will enjoy doing what you're about to do. And then that way you are supported and encouraged as you go.
That's good. We've got another question here from, what's your name again? Al?
I was just going to say, Rick, sorry. I grew up playing a lot of sport. We had coaches that always talk about don't compound your mistakes. So if you make a mistake, that's okay. But if you keep thinking about it or worrying about it, I dropped the ball, you'll then make another one. So that's done. That's one and done. That's in the past. Let it go. Thanks, Anna. And just move on to a new day. Sorry, Al.
You're right now. Glocko, where do I buy my Lycra outfit, mate? I'm going to come riding with you, buddy.
So, I didn't hear you, mate. You want Lycra?
Where do I buy it?
You can borrow some of mine.
No. I think actually you guys answered the question that I had, and that's about building a new, I'd rather say not a habit, but a practice. It takes time. I think it takes 21 days scientifically to build a new practice. and you got to slog it out. Like you say, you miss one day and you don't give up. You go, okay, then I'll go tomorrow. I think that's at some point you've got to start somewhere. It's not really a question. It's more of a statement. But I think to encourage everybody, even myself, I've got to get started. I recently gave up Facebook because I spent so much time just scrolling through all that rubbish, and I'm going to replace it with getting my new mountain bike that I've ridden once out and start riding that. So I've got to just get started.
Yeah, thanks, Alan. I might wrap it up there.
Yeah, good.
Because Alan actually made a nice segue for me.
Yeah.
I wear a Garmin watch. Garmin's hashtag is beat yesterday. And the idea, we live in a world where social media compares everyone to everyone. And my life is not there. I'm not as fit as that. I'm not as rich as this. And I think the focus is God has predestined you to live your life in your place, in your circumstance. And you're the only person that's got the same controls as you yourself has the only control for yourself. You've got your own background, your own past, and your own future that God's ordained for you. And so I think life is about helping yourself develop those healthy habits that make you better as a follower of Christ. It's not about self-improvement and those things, which can be a slope, but about you beating yesterday for yourself. You are the best control. And so I think over the next few weeks, and including today, none of us would ever claim that we're experts in any of this, but people who are on a journey or on a path, times that we fall off them, things that we found helpful to get off them. So thank you.